All right, hello everybody, and welcome back to another great video. And do I have a good movie review for you today? We're going to be discussing Ghostbusters Afterlife and why I thought it was a great movie. Let's do this. I said a moment ago for one simple reason, because I did not previously expect this movie to be great or even that good. I'll tell you why. I remember seeing some of the original Ghostbusters movie. Maybe I was like 10 or 11. I don't know. It feels like forever ago, but I actually remember that movie pretty well. It was memorable for me, and it really stuck out for the reason of it was kind of fresh. It was funny. It was original. I remember the cast. I especially remember the Slimer. That was probably one of the scenes I remember. I remember the Ecto one and stuff. And there was just a lot about the movie that really stuck out to me even over the years, despite the fact I never rewatched it. I never saw the sequel, although I know the fans and critics were both divided on it. Some say it was great and some say it was horrible. And then Ghostbusters died out, and then they tried to bring it back. What was it, 2015 or 2016 with an all-female cast, and they had Rebel Wilson in it. And same thing. A lot of people said it was fun. Some people said it was horrible, and then it looked like it died out again. And then about a year and a half ago, I saw the trailer for Afterlife, and I came away from it thinking, I was a little underwhelmed. I really didn't see anything in it that genuinely stuck out to me. But yes, I decided to sit down and watch it anyway, just because. Let's give it a shot. That's a big thing with me. Never judge anything until you've given it a shot. And right from the first scene, I realized this is going to be a great movie because there was no time was wasted. There was no drama build up. Just right from the start, you're plunged right into the action, which is precisely how you should start all movies, in my opinion. And that's one of my favorite things about watching Ghostbusters Afterlife is it's a good 2 hours, so it's a fairly lengthy movie, and yet it feels fast. There's very little to no drama in it. And there's just a whole lot of action. Everything moves really fast-paced. There's a lot of mystery and intrigue that just keeps building. Suspense builds up to almost a fever pitch. The writer and the director knew exactly what they were doing with this movie, and they absolutely nailed it from that perspective. And I'm going to tell you a couple of reasons why this movie was great. Look, when you revamp an old movie like Ghostbusters, there's at least 100 ways to get it wrong and really only about 1 or 2 to get it right. You've got to really know what you're doing, and you really got to put some effort into it. And thankfully, that's precisely what the writers and directors of this movie did. There's all kinds of things that make it such a great movie. Number one, like I said, it moves really, really fast. There's a lot of suspense. There's a lot of mystery and intrigue. And they also did a great job of creating atmosphere, which is essential to do in a movie like this and also really difficult. You know, small town, lots of weird things are going on. And even though you know what's going on, you know there's ghosts lurking behind every corner, it still makes you wonder because I'm not going to ruin why, but there's just a lot of things that still make you wonder what's going on. I mean, what's really going on? And yes, if you're wondering, the movie, despite what some of the critics have said, the movie does manage to pull a few surprises even I didn't see coming. And number two, let's talk about the cast. This features a totally revamped cast, although it does have some cameo appearances I think you all will enjoy, but I won't spoil it for you. As a totally revamped cast, I didn't recognize most of the new cast, although I did recognize Paul Rudd because I've seen him in a couple of movies. And he did a really good job, as he always does. He brings his goofy little personality to this movie, and he looked like he was having a lot of fun doing this film. And it wasn't just him. Actually, the entire cast looked like they had a blast doing this movie. Nobody looked bored or just out of it. Everybody just brought their A game and looked like they were having fun, which, by the way, with a good script, that just makes it all the better when you have a good cast like that doing that. So great job, guys. Everybody did their job. Love it. And number three, I want to talk about the soundtrack. The soundtrack is an odd hybrid fusion that just works. On the one hand, I felt like I was listening to Danny Elfman's Batman-esque kind of soundtrack. It kind of has that feel to it. And on the other hand, it's also fused together with a lot of 50s and 60s tracks, which with its small town setting just worked so well. It was a great job. And it was actually one of my favorite parts about watching that movie. It just really added to the film in a really meaningful way. I wouldn't have thought that. That's a totally unexpected surprise, but I love that they thought of that. Look, you just have to hear it to see what I'm talking about. It works so well. And another thing I want to talk about is the filming. The cinematography is surprisingly really good in a movie like this, and I didn't expect that either. In a movie like Ghostbusters, you expect a lot of CGI, you expect a lot of just visual effects that are added, right? Because let's face it, I mean, there's no real ghost out there you can really film. You got a CGI. There's a lot of stuff added. Despite all that, they did a great job of filming a lot of real scenes. There's a lot of neat little techniques, a lot of visual cues, a lot of neat little lighting things that I really, really liked. They really did a good job of making a visually artistic movie, which again, is another unexpected surprise. This is what I'm telling you. When you revamp a movie like Ghostbusters, you've got to pull out all the shots, which is exactly what they did. They worked hard on the soundtrack. They worked hard to make it look great visually. And I don't just mean with CGI. All of these things come together in such a great way. So again, it's surprising. There's a lot of mystery and intrigue. And let's talk about some of the suspenseful parts. This movie has a lot of car scenes, which is another thing I did not expect. When I saw the trailer, you see one of the main characters taking the infamous Ecto-1 out for a joyride, but I didn't expect to see so much of it in this movie. No, they didn't just bring it in there for a brief little cameo and then take it right back out just to throw that little nostalgia in you. They brought it back out. And by the way, I've noted that it's the same Ecto-1 from the original movies, but they gave it a little tune-up. Let me just say that. And there's a lot of really fantastic speed scenes, a great car chase scene, which absolutely just makes it great. And I'm not spoiling anything for you when I'm about to tell you this, but there's a great scene in the middle where they're chasing a ghost down the small town, and they're trying to like zap it going down the road. Look, it was filmed so well, and some of the stunt driving was absolutely fantastic. Hey, whoever did the stunt driving in this movie deserves a raise. They did a great job. Again, I didn't expect that either. So all of these things just came together. Like I said, the great soundtrack with its weird hybrid fusion that just worked. The cinematography was great. The writing was fantastic. All the characters really do feel kind of three-dimensional in their own way, despite there being so little drama, which is just a great job. They all feel very real and personable. They did a good job with that. The cast, everybody brought their A game. Everybody looked like they were having fun. There was a lot of nice little jokes strewn throughout it to just kind of lighten the mood a little bit. And yes, there's plenty of ghost action for all you people out there. Is this a scary movie? Not really, honestly. Nobody watches Ghostbusters really expecting to get scared necessarily. Unless you have a 5-year-old, I don't think there's really anything in this that's really going to keep you up at night, which I also liked. Again, all of these things came together to create such a great movie. Again, like I told you, after the original Ghostbusters movies died out, the whole franchise has been in the middle of an identity crisis, and yet Afterlife has brought it back in a great way. They absolutely nailed it. Listen to me, people. Yes, you can bring back old movies and make them great, and in some ways even better than before. And if you want proof of that, look at Ghostbusters Afterlife. Perfect job, and I don't say that lightly. I thought about it and thought about it and thought about it. I tried to poke holes in it and tried to think of ways it could have been improved. I don't think there's any way you could have improved this. I think they did a perfect job. They really put a lot of effort into it, and it shows. Yes, it got pushed back during the pandemic, but now we get to see it. Great film. Borderline flawless. I give it a 10 out of 10. I had an absolute blast watching this movie, and I highly recommend it if you're into this kind of thing. There's something in it for everybody. I mean that. Everybody can enjoy watching this movie. Good job, guys. I kind of hope you make another one.